You remember this derivation we did yesterday? And this derivation was to find instantaneous power transmitted through a cross section. Good evening, good evening. Okay, and we worked through the derivation. Now it's okay if you don't remember the exact derivation. It will always be beneficial if you read it whenever you revise, because the derivation involves certain smaller formulas which you should know. It involves an understanding of power which you should know. Then again, it involves partial differentiation, which you guys also should know. So it involves various terms which you should know. And if you can derive this, in general, it will be a good practice of different concepts of physics as such. Okay? So you of course wouldn't want to derive this to get the formula and use it in the exam. I would say you should remember at least one formula. Okay, and if you remember at least one, you will get the rest. Can I? One of you is asking me to explain the last part of slide 33. Yeah, so I mean, in this, what I said was intensity. So if I consider cross section, and if I let's say I say कि t time में, if you allow energy to pass through the cross section, okay, so t time में whatever energy passes, no, वो ज्यादा से ज्यादा vt distance दूर जाके vt distance दूर जा सकता है in a t length time interval. Okay, in a time interval t long, it's going to move a distance of vt from the cross section you are considering. So that means all the energy that is crossing in this time interval will be locked in the section of the string between 0 and vt. So it'll be locked in a cylindrical section of area A and length vt. All right. So the energy contained in this part is the energy that will cross a cross section in t seconds. So the energy crossing a cross section in t seconds is power into time. And then the energy density of this part will be the energy in that part by the volume. So energy is power into time, and volume is velocity into area into time. Okay, so वहां से we will get our energy density का formula. T कटेगा, so it will be power upon area upon velocity, and power upon area is intensity, so it will be intensity upon velocity. Okay, to which I also said in the exam, if you if you want to derive this another way, just use the units. Okay, just divide, तुम units compare करो, joules by meter cube और watt per meter square का अगर तुम units compare करोगे ना, तो तुम्हें दिख जाएगा कि watt by meter square upon joules per meter cube is actually meters per second. मतलब intensity by energy density should be velocity. So you can even work with the units if you forget the formula. You may remember it involves energy density I and V, but then you may not remember whether it's I upon V or I into V. Let's say you forget that in the exam, तो तुम unit से भी वो formula derive कर सकते हो. Okay, और यहाँ पे क्या doubt था? So I have a doubt. The rope, the tension x meters from the bottom. Yeah, what's your doubt? Tension x meters from the bottom, मतलब? क्या doubt है इसमें exactly? This is our rope at this instant. This is in a state of tension. Thank you. This is in a state of tension. This is a rope. This is in a state of tension. Okay, and that's it. मतलब tension को extend किया तो the line of action seems. अच्छा, this is not your doubt. Okay. So the question was done at the start of the class. What if you can remind me what exactly it was? अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, समझा समझा समझा। हाँ ये वाला हैंगिंग वाला, हाँ इसमें क्या डाउट है? क्या डाउट है इसमें? नहीं, व्हाई शुड इट बी? अरे टेंशन is, first of all, यहाँ का tension, you make be clear what are you taking as your system. Are you taking the part above it as your system, or you're taking the part below it as your system? So make sure what you're going to take as your system when you balance forces. If you're taking the part above, uska weight will depend on m, uska weight will be m upon l into l minus x. But then usme the external forces will be tension downwards, another tension over here from the top, which will actually be mg, total weight का rope का weight balance करेगा upon इस section का weight. Okay, so in order, I mean इससे भी answer आ जाएगा, but in order to avoid this extra tension from the top, a wiser choice of system would be the system below this cross section. इसको system लिया हमने, इसको system लिया हमने, और इस पे टेंशन, इस पे जो ऊपर से टेंशन लगेगा वो इसका वेट को बैलेंस करेगा. इसका वेट x is measured from the bottom, इसका वेट is mx by l into g. So tension is mx by l into g. थोड़ा logically भी सोचो. As you go up, when x is 0, whenever you have a doubt, put x is 0. If you have an answer in terms of variables and you want to cross check it, or if you have options in terms of variables and you want to eliminate options, put x as 0 and see. Put x as the other extreme and see. X is 0, एकदम नीचे tension 0 होना चाहिए. Okay, but because that end is free, nobody is pulling it. Nobody is pulling this end. See, that end is free. So वहाँ पे tension 0 होना चाहिए. At the top, when x is L, tension mg होना चाहिए. Obviously, because ऊपर का tension has to bear the weight of the entire rope. As you go up, tension should increase. है ना? Obvious चीज है. When two people are hanging, when many people are hanging, ऐसा movies में देखा होगा, है ना? So who is it most difficult for? The guy at the bottom or the guy at the top to hold on? Who is it most difficult for? So obviously most difficult for person at the top, because he has to, his hand has to bear the tension. I mean, the tension in his hand will have to support the weight of all of them. The tension in this guy's hand will have to support the weight of only these two. The tension in this guy's hand will only have to support his own weight. So it's most difficult for the guy at the top. As you go up, your tension keeps increasing. Okay. चलो, we'll continue from where we left off. यहाँ पे है ना, I said कोई तो एक फॉर्मूला याद कर लो, या तो P instantaneous या I instantaneous या ED instantaneous. वो याद करोगे तो बाकी दो आ जाएगा. अब that said, instantaneous power का फॉर्मूला फिर भी थोड़ा रेयर है. What is more frequently used is average power का फॉर्मूला. So I would say तुम average power का फॉर्मूला याद कर लो, and उससे I'll tell you how to remember the other formulas. So first of all, how do we get average power? So if you look at the formula, average power is the average of instantaneous power. Look at the formula for instantaneous power. You have mu v a square omega square, and then you have this cos square phase. Now all these terms, all the other terms are constants. Mu v a square omega square are constants. वो सब बाहर गया. Remember, the less than and greater than sign just means I'm taking the average of the term. तो constants तो बाहर जाएगा average लेते वक्त, और क्या रह जाएगा? Cos square phase का average लेना रह जाएगा. And as we already saw in the previous class, cos square and sin square add to 1. Their averages also add to 1. Their averages are equal because the two graphs are symmetrical, similar in nature. So they have the same average. So cos square ka average is half, and sin square ka bhi average is half. So yahan se we can easily prove that average power is going to be half mu v a square omega square. Half mu v A square omega square. Okay, that's your average power. This is what I will ask you to memorize. ये तुम याद कर लो, ये एक फॉर्मूला अच्छे से याद किया तो बाकी आना चाहिए. कैसे? देखो, एवरेज पावर का याद किया तो एवरेज पावर बाय एरिया, क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया, स्मॉल a will give you intensity. Remember to not cancel small a and capital A. Small a is area, capital A in the numerator is amplitude. ठीक है? So power by small a, power by cross sectional area will give you intensity. Intensity by velocity will give you average energy density. So velocity काट दो. This will give you average energy density. तो average power याद करोगे तो ये बाकी दो टर्म आ जाएगा. ठीक है? और फिर ये अगर तुमने याद किया, okay, then I say, okay, use the definitions to get I average and ED average. I just explained that definition. मतलब I is power by area and energy density is intensity by velocity. So use that to get I average and ED average. And then if you want the instantaneous terms, replace half. Half किसकी जगह आ रहा है? याद रहेगा, cos square की जगह आ रहा था. So replace half by cos square phase to get the instantaneous power, intensity and energy density. Replace half by cos square phase to get instantaneous and energy density. Okay, so you just have to actually remember one. उससे बाकी सब आ जाएगा. And the reason I'm asking you to remember the power average one is because that's more common. Okay, that's more common. Okay, questions on this will be strictly formula based. So you have some questions like this in the HCV. You can check them out. Okay. You can also notice how this result is very similar to your total energy of an SHM, right? Each particle is performing an SHM, and SHM में total energy होता था half m omega square a square. है ना? ये in a way वैसा ही है, बस m की जगह mu v है. Half mu v a square omega square. Okay? So power is energy by time. So m by time can be replaced by mu into v, because m will be mu into length. M by time is mu into length by time. Length by time is velocity. So वैसा करके you can even maybe remember this formula. Okay, any doubts? This is your total energy. You will not divide this energy into potential and kinetic. This will be your total energy. Yeah. In reality, this will be a combination of potential and kinetic. Okay? It will be a combination of that, because as the string goes up, the string is getting stretched as well. And on top of that, because the particles are moving, so there is a kinetic energy as well. So this will be a combination of that. And for a traveling wave, we will not try to split this into potential and kinetic. We'll just talk about the total energy. However, for a little later, we'll see another kind of wave where we can talk about potential and kinetic. Okay. Okay, this is just formula based questions. Please, you wouldn't want to lose marks here. Remember the formula of at least one of them. With that, get the rest, and you'll be able to solve any question on that topic. Okay, let me know when you're done. Whoever sent wait. Okay. Superposition of waves. All right. So now we'll talk about what happens when two waves are combined. Two wave equations are combined. Okay. So superposition just means taking one on top of the other, taking two things together. Okay. And what we find is that when two waves pass through a point, the disturbance at the point is given by the sum of the disturbances each wave would produce in the absence of the other waves. So what that's really trying to say is, if there are two waves which are passing through a point, then the net disturbance of that point will be dictated by the sum of both the waves. मतलब y2 अगर अपने आप होता तो उसके कारण क्या डिस्टर्बेंस होता, और y1 अगर अपने आप होता तो उसके कारण क्या डिस्टर्बेंस होता, वो सिंपली ऐड करना है. Okay, so they don't affect each other anyway, it's just that their disturbances add up. Okay, and if you look at what their equations are going to be, for instance, y1 is going to be an equation like this. Okay, it's going to be a sinusoidal equation, a1 sine omega t minus kx. Y2 is going to be a similar equation, but there may be a phase difference between them. Okay, so मान लो plus phi का phase difference है. Then to add them up, you should suddenly realize कि अरे ये इसको add करने में तो this will look very similar to the way we were adding SHMs. SHM भी तो बिल्कुल सेम था, बस क्या फर्क क्या था, बस वो kx का टर्म नहीं था, बाकी सब तो बिल्कुल सेम है, right? So in fact, adding waves also is going to be exactly the same as adding SHMs. You will treat them as vectors and you will add. In fact, what do you do when you treat them as vectors? You replace the amplitude with the magnitude of the vector. You take a fixed direction. For instance, sine omega t minus kx could represent, right, the positive x-axis. So you fix a direction. The next one, a2, okay, that's the other amplitude. Sine omega t minus kx plus phi. So that represents the direction of, that represents an angle. ये जो phase difference है, that represents an angular separation between the corresponding vectors. Phase difference between the SHMs becomes the angle between the corresponding vectors. So I now have a vector of magnitude a1 and a2, जिनके बीच में angle is phi. Accordingly, I will get some resultant, and the resultant will make some angle with a1. The way to find the resultant, of course you can add the vectors. This is just the representation कि resultant का formula ऐसा आता है, root a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2 cos phase vectors का formula. Delta is tan inverse a2 sin phi upon a1 plus a2 cos phi. तो ठीक है, just the representation. जो final इसका जो resultant है, resultant का जो magnitude है, वो resultant wave का amplitude होगा. So the magnitude then again becomes the amplitude, and जो resultant और a1 के बीच में angle है, वो resultant equation और y1 के बीच में phase difference होगा. So because that was simply omega t minus kx, this will become omega t minus kx plus delta. Okay, so it's very similar to how you add SHMs. RES stands for resultant. RES stands for resultant. So इसमें तो मेमोराइज करने को कुछ नहीं है, ये थोड़ी मेमोराइज करो, यू एनीवेज नो दिस, नो, ये वेक्टर्स का एडिशन का फॉर्मूला है. इसमें याद ये करना है कि यू कैन ऐड वेव्स द वे यू ऐड वेक्टर्स. यू कैन ऐड वेव्स द वे यू ऐड SHMs. बिल्कुल जैसा SHM ऐड किया, जो भी सवाल मैंने पहले दिया था SHM के लिए, ठीक है, SHM में व्हेन वी यूज्ड टू मेक यू ऐड SHMs, वही सवाल को मान लो ओमेगा टी के जगह मैंने एक्स्ट्रा माइनस kx सामने डाल दिया तो वेव का इक्वेशन हो गया. वही सवाल में ओमेगा टी के जगह ओमेगा टी माइनस kx है, तो फिर वो वेव का सवाल हो गया. जैसा SHM को ऐड करते थे वैसे ही वेव्स को ऐड करना है. ओके, so that's the idea. So I'll give you a few examples. I'll give you a few examples to Just establish this idea. Just one thing to watch out for, and that is while you are finding the phase difference between them, make sure you write them in the same form. Okay, write them in the same form. अगर एक ओमेगा टी माइनस के एक्स के फॉर्म में है, दूसरे को भी ओमेगा टी माइनस के एक्स के फॉर्म में लिखो. अगर दूसरा के एक्स माइनस टी के फॉर्म में लिखा है ना, use a little bit of trigonometry that you know to write it in the same form. Don't find phase difference when one is omega t minus kx and the other is kx minus omega t. ठीक है, तो वो एक चीज है to look out for. As such, they will rarely give you questions where एक omega t minus kx है और दूसरा kx minus omega t है. But so that you guys never get confused, for conceptual clarity, for you to understand what is the difference when I write omega t minus kx and what is the difference when I write kx minus omega t, just for you to get that clear, what is really the difference between them, I'm going to give you examples which involve that conversion. Okay, we'll give you examples which involve that conversion. वरना simple question, ऐसा simple question तो तुम कर ही लोगे. 3 sin omega t minus kx, 4 sin के जगह 4 cos omega t minus kx, इनको ऐड करने जाओगे तो क्या आंसर आएगा? Just you can take a shot. ऐसा क्वेश्चन तो हमने एसएचएम में किया है, सो एग्जैक्ट वो वापस इतना नहीं करेंगे. तो व्हाट डू यू थिंक, ये इसको ऐड करने में क्या आंसर आएगा? 3 sin omega t minus kx plus 4 sin. हाँ, very simple, right? So you 3 sin omega t minus kx, you draw it as a vector of magnitude 3. Sin को ले लो along the x-axis. Okay. Make sure just that these are of the same form. Okay. फिर cos omega t minus kx, that's 4 along the y-axis. Adding them gives 5. Angle is going to be 53 degrees, right? So therefore these vectors will add up to 5 sin, or I'll zoom in, 5 sin omega t minus kx, almost the same thing, but now phase difference, है ना? So we can see that it makes an angle of 53 degrees with the x-axis. We'll put in a plus 53 degrees. Come on. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, ऐसा question तो आता है ना SHM से. 3 sin omega t plus 4 cos omega t is 5 sin omega t plus 53 degrees. 53 degrees, you have to write the degrees, otherwise if you forget to write the degrees, you'll have to convert into radians. But ऐसा question आता है, we know that. SHM में किया है, omega t के जगह बस omega t minus kx आ जाएगा for waves. So that's fairly simple. But what we will do is, let's try to add these waves when यहाँ पे थोड़ा I have changed things around. Okay, so थोड़ा clarity आ जाएगा उससे. Anyone wants me to wait on this page, please let me know. Anyone has any doubt that you want to ask on this page, please do so. कोई वेट बोल रहा है? yes of course. ओमेगा, ये पूरा चीज में ऐड करने के लिए, जैसे एसएचएम में ऐड करते वक्त ओमेगा और के सेम होना चाहिए था, वैसा ही इसमें भी वो कंडीशन है कि ओमेगा एंड के सेम होना चाहिए. इसमें भी वही कंडीशन है कि ओमेगा एंड के सेम होना चाहिए. That entire trigonometric derivation that we did would not be true if omega and k were different. Whatever you're doing, they should have the same omega and they should have the same k. That's how it will always be. Okay. नित्य हो गया तो बता. Okay, done. All right. Cool. तो ऐसा तो क्वेश्चन स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड है. ओमेगा एंड के सेम होना चाहिए और मैच फॉर्मेट भी मैच होना चाहिए, है ना. इफ यू वांट टू ट्रीट इट लाइक एडिशन ऑफ एसएचएम्स, जस्ट मेक श्योर is written in the same format. Omega t minus kx, usme bhi omega t minus kx. Now if it was not written in the same format, okay, if it's not written in the same format, for instance, look at this question in front of you. You still know enough trigonometry to work with it. Come on, so try this once and for all. Let your mind get clarity on what is the difference between omega t minus kx and kx minus omega t. सोच के देख लो, ट्रिग्नोमेट्री लगा के देखो क्या फर्क है इन दोनों में. इनका एडिशन क्या होगा? सर, इफ यू वंडरिंग व्हाट द क्वेश्चन इज आई वांट y1 plus y2. Yes, Vaishnav, that's true. So what, just write your answer in some form. Yes, Tanmay, very nice. Prithvi Raj, that's right. Yash, that's right. Rudra, that's right. Good. Say it. Yeah, a lot of people are answering this. Vaishnav, that is, that's right. Yes. Sanidhya, that's is that right? It's close. Just there's a minus sign missing. Tanmay सही है, कुशल सही है, good. Sonti थोड़ा गलत है. Sanidhya is right. Others are close. So let's just, okay, let me now just show you what this really is. So you just have to use trigonometry, okay? And with this now, with this, put your mind to ease about the difference between kx minus omega t and omega t minus kx. It's just the difference of phase. It's just a matter of phase. I can easily write omega t minus kx as kx minus omega t. What I am actually going to do is I'm changing the sign of whatever is inside the sine function. ठीक है? So I'm changing omega t minus kx को kx minus omega t कर रहा हूँ, मतलब थीटा को माइनस थीटा कर रहा हूँ. थीटा को माइनस थीटा कर रहा हूँ तो बाहर एक माइनस साइन डालना पड़ेगा. because sin theta is minus of sin minus theta. तो वो कर रहा हूँ, sin theta is minus of sin minus theta. तो sin ओमेगा t minus kx, बाहर माइनस साइन डाल दिया तो अंदर भी एक माइनस साइन डाल के उल्टा कर सकते हैं. So this is this. Now they are written in the same form. Okay, now y1 and y2 are written in the same form. Now you can add them. Okay, and as I said, I mean, I think some of you probably took omega t minus kx as the positive x-axis. It's up to you. You want, you can take sin kx minus omega t also as the positive x-axis. चाहिए तो इस फॉर्म को ले लो positive x-axis. Whatever you do in the middle of the question, don't change the convention. In another question, if you are working with omega t minus kx as we worked in the previous page, तो sin omega t minus kx को तुम positive x-axis के along ले सकते हो. और अगर इस क्वेश्चन में अगर kx minus omega t के साथ काम करो तो you can take this as your positive x-axis. Either way, be consistent for the length of a question and just be aware of what you're doing. So I'm adding these two vectors. एक second, I'm adding these two vectors. Prithvi, just have a look at this and then see if there's still a doubt. So I'm adding these two vectors. I'm trying to write this in the form of kx minus omega t. So if you want, you can even write it in this form. Okay, minus 3 sin kx minus omega t is 3 sin kx minus omega t plus 5. तो इससे ये भी थोड़ा एक समझ में आ गया कि इनके बीच में यही फर्क है, ओमेगा टी माइनस के एक्स और के एक्स माइनस ओमेगा टी के बीच में वो पाई रेडियन का फर्क है. इट्स जस्ट द डिफरेंस ऑफ फेज. दे आर नॉट टू ड्रास्टिकली डिफरेंट वेव इक्वेशंस. इट्स जस्ट द डिफरेंस ऑफ फेज. थोड़ा एक थोड़ा आगे है, एक थोड़ा पीछे है, वैसा है. अच्छा, हाउ डू आई ऐड y1 and y2? आई हैव टेकन y1 as a vector of magnitude 5. इनफैक्ट इस केस में तो ज्यादा वेक्टर्स का बात भी नहीं है, डायरेक्टली ऐड कर सकते हो y1 plus y2. तो डायरेक्ट एडिशन में भी ऐसा दिखेगा, 2 sin kx minus omega t. You don't need to even break your head over this. The direct addition of those terms will give you 2 sin kx minus omega t. You want to see them as vectors. I'm taking sin kx plus omega t as positive x. So 5 along positive x. And because this is minus sign, so if you remember, minus sign was negative x. So that's 3 towards the negative x-axis. Or that's 3 making an angle of 180 degrees with positive x-axis. एक ही बात है. So 5 towards positive x, 3 towards negative x. I'll be left with 2 towards positive x. 2 towards positive x. To interpret that, I'll have a vector of magnitude 2. And then what should I write it as? See what you took positive x as. Positive x was sin kx minus omega t. So we'll write this as 2 sin kx minus omega t. Okay. And as I said, this is normally rare. Normally, I don't see people ask questions where they really play with these two forms. But even if they do, just stay calm. Try to write this in that form. You just have to use some trigonometric equation. थीटा को माइनस थीटा ही करना है ना. इसको माइनस साइन के साथ मल्टीप्लाई करोगे तो ये वैसा बन जाएगा. और फिर बाकी फंक्शन के साथ क्या हो रहा है जब तुम साइन चेंज करोगे, देखो. तो ओमेगा टी माइनस के एक्स को के एक्स माइनस ओमेगा टी जैसे ही किया, बाहर एक माइनस साइन चला गया. And then in fact I could have actually just added them up. It was quite straightforward. Just combine them. 5 minus 3, 2 sin kx minus omega t हो जाएगा. Okay. Some of you have written this answer as 2 sin omega t minus kx plus pi. And if you have really understood this question, you should understand both are the same. So we will not split hairs over this. We will not break our heads over this. Okay, all those who wrote omega minus kx plus pi, you should understand both are the same. दोनों एक ही चीज है. Sin pi plus theta is minus sin theta is sin of minus theta. तो अगर मैं पाई हटा दूं, मैं इसका साइन उल्टा करके ऐसा उल्टा करके ऐसा लिख सकता हूँ. kx minus omega t के फॉर्म में लिख सकता हूँ. ओके. एक और क्वेश्चन करेंगे. लेट्स वर्क विद cos as well एक बार. Then we'll put to rest any confusion. Technically, adding them is just like adding vectors. And normally they'll always be written in the same form. या तो इस फॉर्म में ही सभी वेक्टर्स सभी वेव्स को लिखेंगे या इस फॉर्म में ही सभी वेव्स को लिखेंगे ऐड करते हुए. Okay, but this is just for you guys to never get confused again. Know what is the relation between them. Know this can be written in that term. Okay, this can be written in that form. Let's try this for cos. Slightly better question. So one last example on this topic. Hmm. 5 cos omega t minus kx is y1. Y2 is 5 cos kx minus omega t plus pi by 3. Okay, add them and see what answer you get. नहीं, take some time. थोड़ा इसको रश में मत करो. Take 2 minutes. (7:42) तक टाइम दे रहा हूँ. Try to write the final equation. Kushal, your answer looks quite correct. थोड़ा सोचना पड़ेगा. एक मिनट. I've actually written it in another form. Wait, let me just see. Kushal, सही है. Nice. टन में वेरी क्लोज यार. जैसे कुछ टाइपिंग मिस्टेक हुआ है कि चेक कर ले. Sonti, that's actually not the answer. Just again check the angles between the two. Okay. Right track, but just check the angles once more. तन्मय सही है. कुशल सही है. ये 1 more minute. 7:43 तक. Remember, cos theta is cos minus theta. तो cos तो और भी अच्छा है लाइफ में. अंदर का चीज फ्लिप कर सकते हो अपने मर्जी से. Yash, that's correct. Great. So let's see what the angle between the vectors is. It's actually कितना 60 degrees है. देखते हैं कैसे यार. तो इसमें I think it seems like everyone else did the other thing. Everyone wrote in terms of omega t minus kx, at least the ones who got the right answer. But you could have done this as well. You could have written omega cos omega t minus kx. The first term itself, I wrote that as cos kx minus omega t. Because cos theta is cos minus theta. Cos me, you can easily change the sign of whatever's inside. So actually I made the first function look like this. Yeah, the omega t minus kx is just to distract you. Cos का अंदर जो है उसको change कर सकते हो. You have an option of changing this. उससे भी सही answer आएगा. You could, if you change the sign of this, no, you would have to write it as omega t minus kx and minus pi by 3. वैसा लिखना पड़ेगा. तो एक option ये है. दूसरा option है, the one I used was this. इसको मैंने डायरेक्टली kx माइनस ओमेगा टी के फॉर्म में लिखा. कॉस के अंदर जो चीज है उसका साइन चेंज किया जा सकता है. ओके, अगेन आई एम रिपीटिंग कि योर क्वेश्चंस इन जनरल व्हेन यू आर आस्क्ड टू कंबाइन वेव्स, आई हैव नेवर सीन देम एक्चुअली गिव अ क्वेश्चन लाइक दिस where they are written in these two different forms. Okay, but we are doing this so that we will just be clear once and for all. Should they be in different forms, what do they really mean? They're just one small trigonometric conversion away from being written in the same form. Once you apply whatever trigonometry you know and get them in the same form, either kx minus omega t या omega t minus kx, उसके आगे ये वेक्टर एडिशन का सवाल है. जैसा SHM में किया वैसे ही करना है. ओके, तो कैसे करेंगे? मैं kx minus omega t को sin kx minus omega t को पॉजिटिव x ले रहा हूं, तो cos kx minus omega t हो जाएगा पॉजिटिव y. Remember, cos was along the y-axis. Okay, तो इसको मैं ले रहा हूँ पॉजिटिव y. ये है मेरा 5 cos kx minus omega t. Okay, what about the other one? The other one is cos kx minus omega t plus pi by 3. तो वो y-axis से pi by 3 एंगल बनाएगा, and plus means anti-clockwise. तो मैं y-axis से 60 डिग्रीज घूम के एक और 5 का वेक्टर ड्रॉ करूंगा, एंटी क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन में घूम के एक और 5 का वेक्टर ड्रॉ करूंगा. सो दीज आर माय टू वेक्टर्स. ओके, द y एक्सिस वाला वन व्हिच इज हाइलाइटेड was highlighted is y1 and this other one is y2, making 60 degrees with that. Okay, I'll add them up. So even those who wrote in terms of omega t minus kx, I believe your vectors would have looked like this and maybe like this. ये ऑलमोस्ट सेम ही दिखा होगा. 60 डिग्रीज का एंगल उनके बीच में होगा. तो उनको ऐड करने के लिए whenever the vector's magnitude is the same, you of course know कि then my resultant is along the bisector, and because our resultant is along the bisector, one shortcut we can do in adding them up is just take the components along the bisector and add. This is something you might have done often in electrostatics as well. When you know the direction of your resultant, just to add up those vector quantities, take components along the resultant ka direction and add. So along the bisector, 5 ka component 5 cos 30, ye wale ka bhi component 5 cos 30. Okay, so net resultant aa raha hai 5 cos 30 plus 5 cos 30 into 2. The other components will naturally 5 sin 30, 5 sin 30 will cancel out. Resultant is anyways along the bisector. तो बाइसेक्टर के लॉन्ग कंपोनेंट्स ऐड किया, 5 cos 30 into 2, 5 root 3 आ जाता है when I add these vectors. ठीक है, एंड एंगल भी एग्जैक्ट मतलब वो बाइसेक्टर के लॉन्ग है, मतलब y एक्सिस के साथ वो मेरे लिए 30 डिग्री एंगल बना. तो माय आंसर, the way I have written it, because I have taken this as sin kx minus omega t, my answer is 5 root 3 sin kx minus omega t plus 2 pi by 3. Okay, and if I were to write my answer in the form of cos, so it becomes 5 root 3 cos kx minus omega t plus 5 by 6. Isme some of you wrote it in the form of omega t minus kx. So I don't need to show it another way, but if I have to convert my answer into your form, let's say the exam options were in the form of were in omega t minus kx का form. एग्जाम में वो भी एडवांटेज है ना, हमें ऑप्शंस दिखेगा किस फॉर्म में. So if it is in the form of omega t minus kx, I'm just going to change the sign of whatever is inside. Cos theta is cos of minus theta. साइन चेंज करूंगा तो ये इसको ऐसा भी लिख सकते हैं. थोड़ा अच्छे से लिखता हूँ भाई. So this could also be written as 5√3. Guys, see if you're going to do this correctly, है ना. उल्टा करोगे तो ओमेगा टी माइनस के एक्स, सबको माइनस साइन मल्टीप्लाई कर लो और ये भी हो जाएगा -5/6. Okay, sure, I'll explain y2 again. All right, ये तो I hope everyone bought कि this is this. Okay, and मैंने क्या किया, I decided to take this direction as sin kx minus omega t. ये डायरेक्शन को sin kx minus omega t ले रहा हूं, तो ये डायरेक्शन हो जाएगा cos kx minus omega t. एंड फिर उस पे जब मैं +π/3 जोड़ूंगा, रिमेंबर प्लस phase difference means you are going to rotate 60 degrees anti-clockwise. तो ये डायरेक्शन हो जाएगा cos kx minus omega t plus π/3. उस डायरेक्शन में 5 मैग्नीट्यूड का वेक्टर चाहिए. So this is y2 in the diagram. Did you get it? ये y1 और ये y2, और फिर उनका एडिशन बाइसेक्टर के अलॉन्ग है. तो 5 cos 30 plus 5 cos 30 ऐड किया तो 5√3 आ गया along the bisector. समझ आ गया? Let me know if you got that. Okay. All right, so 37, 38, ये जो दो पेज पे questions थे, this was for conceptual clarity. If you see them in different forms, just don't try to visualize, don't try to just use trigonometry and write them in the same form. Okay, so don't worry, it's not something very different. Just use a little trigonometry, you'll get it in the correct same form. Okay, दो अलग अलग चीज को ऐड करने को बोला, so just bring them in the same form. Okay, that said, this was for clarity's sake. In reality, normally questions are like this. ये नीचे जो example था ना, normally ऐसे same form में लिखा जाता. Okay. (37, 38) are slightly on the more conceptual side. Yeah, they are good questions on the conceptual side. Okay. You just have to use trigonometry to bring them to the same form. Okay. Now, let's write them in the same form, and there will be two scenarios where you can get two special types of results. Okay, for instance, what should be the phase difference between y1 and y2? What should be the phase difference between y1 and y2 if I am to get maximum possible resultant amplitude? What should be the phase difference between them if the resultant wave's amplitude should be the max possible? Yes, so that's one such angle. Can you in general write all such angles जिनके लिए max amplitude आ सकता है? Yes, Yash, very nice. Okay, Kushal, सही है. So constructive interference is when when two things interact, right? So when these two waves interact or interfere with each other, and if that interference is to be called constructive, then in that case we should be getting the max possible output. Both of them should be, in sync with each other. They should, their amplitude should in a way give you the max possible resultant you can get out of those amplitudes. That will take place when there is zero phase difference between them technically. You know, if you are adding two vectors, if two people have to apply two different forces, all right, you want two people to push a car, and you want their efforts to be constructive, you want both their efforts to add up, you want to get the maximum effort out of them. They can't push in two different directions. If you want them to push the car and you want to maximize the effect they can produce, they'll have to apply a force in the same direction. So angle between the forces should be zero. Angle between vectors should be zero for the max resultant. वैसा ही phase difference between the waves should be zero. Phase difference between the waves should be zero. All right, or any equivalent of zero. Like what is an equivalent of zero? 2 pi means the same thing. 4 pi, 6 pi, 8 pi, any even multiple of pi will do. Any even multiple of pi is equivalent to a phase difference of zero, right? So 2n pi is then going to be the general form. Every multiple of 2 pi is as good as, I mean, every multiple of 2 pi, the wave just repeats itself. Okay, the wave repeats itself. Every multiple of 2 pi, the phase becomes equivalent to the previous phase. So they'll be completely in sync if the phase difference between them is any multiple of 2 pi. So n can actually be any integer. दूसरा वेव आगे हो सकता है, पीछे हो सकता है, phase difference zero हो सकता है. Okay, in such a situation, look, imagine them as vectors. If they are in phase, you can see the resultant amplitude being A1 plus A2. The resultant amplitude will add up. Okay. Destructive interference. When will you get the minimum output? When will they interfere in the worst possible way? When will you get minimum output, and what will be that minimum output? Yes, Kushal. You asked two friends. Yes, Pratyasha. Yes, Yash. You asked two friends to push the car, and yes, yes, Shubham. You asked two friends to push the car. The worst thing they can do is push the car from two opposite directions. एक पीछे से एक आगे से. That's the worst they can do. So when vectors are at 180 degrees with each other, your output is the minimum, because that's when their efforts are going to subtract as such. You'll combine them, but their magnitudes will cancel each other out. That's when that situation is called as a destructive interference. Okay, that's the worst output you can get. So similarly for waves, the worst output you can get is when the angle or when the phase difference between the waves is equivalent to 180 degrees. Like vectors being 180 degrees, bearing 180 degrees with each other will result in the least possible output. Where waves having a phase difference of 180 degrees with each other will result in the least possible output. And every phase equivalent to 180 degrees, maybe it will get the least possible output. So every phase equivalent of 180 degrees is 180 degrees plus any multiple of 2 pi. So 180 degrees plus any multiple of 360. Pi plus any multiple of 2 pi. So then you will get pi, 3 pi, 5 pi, 7 pi. Basically what you'll be getting is an odd multiple of pi. So this is how you can write an odd multiple of pi. 2n plus 1. Yeah, 2n minus 1 into pi. That's a way to write any odd multiple of pi. N can be any integer. In such a situation, the resultant will be a1 minus a2 ka mod. Difference of a1 a2. Mod dal rahe because we don't know which is bigger. Right? Amplitude has to be positive. इसलिए mod डाल दिया. a1 minus a2. जो भी बड़ा होगा minus जो छोटा है. Difference of a1 and a2 will be the resultant amplitude. Okay, so these are two special cases of interference, constructive and destructive. Let me know if you need me to wait. 5, 4, 3, Okay. All right. So now let's see. ये ऊपर क्यों लिखा है मैंने sin phi plus pi minus sin phi? No idea क्यों लिखा है. याद आ गया तो बोलूँगा. Okay. I think I just यहाँ पे बस बता रहा हूँ कि basically why we said कि pi उधर डालोगे तो destructive interference होगा, because when there is a phase difference of pi, okay, if one is sin phi and the other sin phi plus pi, sin phi plus pi actually becomes negative sin phi. So when there is a phase difference of pi, the two waves are negatives of each other in a sense. एक positive 5 sin phi phase sin phase होगा, दूसरा negative sin phase होगा if the phase difference between them is pi. Anyways, that's not relevant to what we're doing on this page. So in this page, we're going to see the interference between two identical pulses going in opposite directions. Here's what it's going to look like. Okay, so imagine these two pulses, they are identical pulses, so they have the same amplitude. Okay, and imagine they're moving in opposite directions. So they come closer to each other. Let's say right now they have reached here. Okay, this is my first pulse and that's my second pulse. Then they start to overlap. Okay, so now as these two pulses start to overlap, the yellow dots are in a way, just representative of where the original pulse would have been. And this yellow dot, the lower yellow dots are representative of where the lower pulse would have been. Okay, and as they are going to start to overlap, because one is above and the other is below, they're going to start to cancel out. So a large portion of this curve is going to look more or less flat. It's still going to be a little lower on this side because there are portions where you have your lower pulse and the upper pulse is not yet reached to interfere with that. Starting में यहाँ पे थोड़ा dip दिखेगा और यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा ऐसा एक rise दिखेगा, because over here then there are portions where only the upper pulse is reached and the lower pulse is not yet reached. Okay. But then eventually when they perfectly overlap, what you will see, you will see, because they were identical, you will see them perfectly cancel out and you will see the string will be flat. So when they perfectly overlap, एक pulse dictate कर रहा है particle को कुछ amount ऊपर जाना चाहिए, दूसरा pulse dictate कर रहा है particle को उतना ही amount नीचे जाना चाहिए. When you combine them, the net effect is the particle should not go anywhere. So there will be an instance where the string will be perfectly flat. Okay, because these two pulses are identical. As they proceed, as the lower pulse goes ahead and the upper pulse comes here, again the string will start to change its shape. इस बार अब lower pulse आगे है, तो यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा एक dip दिख रहा है, और upper pulse right पे है, तो right के side पे थोड़ा सा एक rise दिख रहा है, and that will become more pronounced as they separate. Eventually when they separate, you will find that now the lower pulse is reached here, the upper pulse is reached there. That's it. Nobody is affecting this portion of the string except the lower pulse. Nobody is affecting this portion of the string except the upper pulse. So what will happen is after they cross each other, it will look as if, nothing has changed for these pulses. ये pulse अपना journey में continue करते जाएगा, वो pulse अपने journey में continue करते जाएगा. It's not like a chemical reaction where A plus B is going to give you something different, C plus D. The pulses are just going to stay the way they are. No pulse is going to change the other pulse. Only in regions where both pulses are present, then you see a combination of them. You see a superposition of them, one on top of the other, combined. So you see the shape of the string varying according to both of them. But once they separate, it will again look as if nothing happened. They're going to move on with their lives. So this is how it look when you have opposite pulses of opposite phases identical pulses of opposite phases moving in opposite directions. This is how they'll interact. And this interference is depictive of a destructive interference between the two. You can say this guy is out of phase with that guy. In fact, waves say here a lot of those what do you say? A lot of phrases that are used in the English language come from this. Now, when you say two people are in sync, so that's just basically saying their phases, the phase difference between them is zero. They're in sync, therefore their whatever they're going to do is going to be constructive. If you say two people are out of phase with each other, it means their interference is going to be in a way destructive. It's just going to lead to more confusion. Same wavelength. In fact, अगर वो k same होना चाहिए for any kind of interference. अगर k same नहीं है ना, then the entire interference will neither be constructive nor destructive. It will just be very haphazard if they don't have the same wavelengths, which is actually not possible for possible. So if they don't have the same wavelengths, the entire interference will be very weird. That's what people say कि these two are of the same wavelength. So if they are of the same wavelength, then कुछ अच्छा हो सकता है when their efforts are combined. Two people of different wavelengths cannot work together. So all that is in a way derived from waves. Okay, anyways, any doubt on this page? You can see what will happen when the two pulses are in the same phase. In fact, can you guess and tell me what will be the max amplitude I can get if two pulses of the same phase interact with each other and दोनों का amplitude A है? Can you visualize what you expect to see and what that interaction ka max amplitude will be? Very nice. You'll see 2A. So this is what you'll expect to see when two pulses in the same phase are going to interact. Two pulses of the same phase, when they interact, this is what you'll see. So both are upright, both are approaching each other. Let's say at this stage they have reached each other. Then let's say they start to interact. Okay, so this guy, let's say the left wala pulse ka shape should have been like this. The right wala pulse ka shape should have been like this. And then what you see is a combination of those two, an addition of those two graphs. And the addition of those two graphs creates some kind of smooth curve like this. Okay. Now, this is, again, they're not fully overlapped. You further bring them close. By the time they fully overlap, जहाँ पे left wala pulse and right wala pulse both are supposed to be at the same position, तब उस instant में क्या हो जाएगा? At the exact middle, both pulses are dictating that the particle should go a distance above the mean position. So when you combine their efforts, एक बोल रहा है a distance ऊपर जा, दूसरा pulse भी बोल रहा है a distance ऊपर जा, तो ये जो बीच वाला particle है कुल मिलके 2a distance ऊपर जाएगा. It's just a simple superposition. Add the graphs, combine the graphs, add them up. So when you add them up, a plus a is going to give you 2a. So for that brief moment where they perfectly overlap, the string will have a very large amplitude of 2a, demonstrating what constructive interference can look like. This is what constructive interference can look like. As they move on with their lives, you will again see them start to separate, and eventually you will see the same original pulses again appearing, going on, moving on in their journey as if nothing is happening. Yeah, so actually they don't affect each other, they don't change each other. The period for which they are interacting, in that period they get added up, and afterwards when they are no longer in contact, you see the original shape of the pulse. So they just in a way pass through each other. They pass through each other. Okay, so maybe I can just give you a demo. Not very, I mean, it's more or less like what I drew. Okay. Full screen. Okay, so you can see this. What will happen when they interact? थोड़ा speed बढ़ाता हूँ. See, the one at the top is a constructive interference. Right? You can see how there's a sudden jump in the peak for the one at the top, the constructive interference. And for the one at the bottom, we'll see a destructive interference. Yeah. Okay. It's going a little fast when they interact. Yeah, but that's, in a way, they just pass through each other. It's only for that brief moment when they are interacting. You get to see the shape of the string change, the shape of the pulses change. You get to see somehow their combination take place. But then once they have passed through each other, you get to see the original shapes again. So one of these things, so constructive and destructive interference affects A only momentarily. This is for a pulse. And that's because a pulse is only interfering for that brief moment. But if we talk about two waves continuously going side by side, ये तो opposite direction में आता है. If I talk about two waves continuously going side by side with the same velocity, and if they maintain no phase difference with each other, then throughout their effect is going to be constructive. On the other hand, I show you two waves going side by side with a phase difference of pi with each other, then throughout their efforts are going to be destructive. Okay. यहाँ पे तुम्हें momentarily कुछ change दिख रहा है because these are going in the opposite direction and it's only a pulse. They're interacting for a very small amount of time. But waves going side by side in the same direction, they are continuously interacting. So ये जो original equation है ना, sin kx minus omega t, sin kx minus omega t, they are representing waves going in the same direction. They are continuously interacting. तो उनका set रहेगा या तो constructive या destructive या something in between. Okay, and waves going in opposite directions, we'll talk about towards the end of this chapter. Okay, that's a concept which we'll talk about towards the end of the chapter. Waves going in opposite directions. Okay. Okay. So with that, we can now understand, or we can now visualize how a wave gets reflected from a free end. Okay, so imagine there's a piece of string and the end of the string is free. What do I mean when I say the end of the string is free? That means the end of the string is not fixed to a specific point, but the end of the string is attached to a frictionless, massless ring, light frictionless ring, and that ring is free to slide over a pole. Okay, like this. So all that pole is basically going to do is it's going to ensure that the ring doesn't move left or right, but it's going to allow the ring to move up and down. So this is a free end. Okay, this is a free end. ये जो free end से जब wave reflect होके लौटता है, this is what has been observed. Okay, how it exactly comes out this way is something we'll prove a little later with maths. थोड़ा आगे prove हो जाएगा. But फिलहाल, this is what is observed. This is how it appears to get reflected. So for the sake of imagination, this is what they say. If you want to imagine how this pulse is going to get reflected from a free end, what they say is, imagine that there is an upright pulse of the same phase, an identical upright pulse coming from the opposite end. Imagine that is taking place. Let me stress that there is nothing over here. This is my string, this is my pole, everything ends over here. This is the real world. There's nothing behind it. But to visualize how the pulse is going to look after it reflects, they say ki you can imagine, you can get the same answer. You can imagine ki there is a pulse, identical pulse, traveling from the other end towards the pole. As this pulse reaches the pole, imagine its mirror image, an identical upright particle also reaches the pole. Okay, then imagine ki as this pulse is about to, as this pulse reaches the pole, imagine that those two, the real pulse and the imaginary pulse, start to interact. So the behavior is going to be very similar to what I drew on the previous page. Okay, it's going to be very similar to that constructive interference of pulses that I drew on the previous page. So what's going to happen as they start to interact? ना ऐसा कुछ string बनेगा. फिर एक point के बाद, when they are perfectly interacting, you will see a sudden jump. The actual pulse will look like this if they were to interact, if they were to overlap perfectly. So you will see that this string goes up till a height of 2a. Okay, you will see it go up till a height of 2a. Okay, of course, you're not going to see any of this. This is the imaginary world, but you will see all of this. Okay, the right hand side is just there for our imagination, but you will see basically the pulse, the amplitude suddenly double, and you'll see the ring go up till a height of 2a. फिर उसके आगे क्या हो जाएगा? This point forward. Okay, imagine that the imaginary pulse continues to move and our real pulse continues to move towards that side. So now our real pulse is over here, our imaginary pulse has come over here. So how will the shape now look? Like a upright pulse will continue propagating. So this is what really happens when you have reflection from a free end. A couple of things are observed. One is you observe that there is no inversion, there is no phase change. एक upright pulse जाता है, एक upright pulse लौट के आता है. There is no inversion, there is no phase change. This is what is observed. Okay. Moreover, I'll come to that. There's no inversion, there's no phase change. Moreover, what you also notice is for that during that reflection, you will see the ring. Is my voice lagging or is it fine now? Check 1, 2, 3. Check. Check, check. All right. I hope it's good. So you'll see the pulse reflect without a phase change. मतलब upright का upright ही reflect होगा, उल्टा नहीं होगा, सीधा ही reflect होगा. और reflection के दौरान you'll see the ring go to a max height of 2a. This is what is observed, and you can imagine all of this taking place by imagining an imaginary pulse coming in from the opposite end. Opposite end से आ रहा है, interaction के दौरान ऐसा 2a तक ring displace हो जाएगा और फिर interaction के बाद वो जो पीछे से pulse आया वो ऐसा continue करेगा. Okay, so that's like a colorful way of imagining what's happening. To write the equation of the reflected pulse, pay close attention. To write the equation of the reflected pulse, this is what you should do. So you want the amplitude to stay positive. The amplitude does not change. Fair enough. You want to keep that positive. Don't change the amplitude. You'll find that K and omega also actually don't change in their values. All right, because it's the same frequency, and since it has the same velocity, it's the same string, so same velocity, same wavelength, nothing is going to change. K and omega will be the same. We'll see more on that later again. But the fact is that this wave is now going in the opposite direction. So to represent a wave going in the opposite direction, the coefficient of x and t should be the same in sign. या तो दोनों negative होना चाहिए या दोनों positive होना चाहिए. Okay. So one thing now you need to remember, when you want to represent this wave going in the opposite direction, you have to change the sign of either K or omega. Please only change the sign of omega. Don't change the sign of K. Change the sign of omega to represent a wave going in the opposite direction. That's very important. Because what will happen is if you change the sign of k, okay, मान लो you change the sign of k, what you will actually be doing is not only will you be sending a wave in the negative direction, मान लो omega का sign change करने की जगह k का sign change किया, you'll not only send a wave in the opposite direction, but you'll also change y as a function of x. You'll be changing y as a function of x. Take time out of the picture. Look at what is happening to y as a function of x. तुमने रिफ्लेक्शन के कारण a sin kx वाले फंक्शन को a sin minus kx वाला फंक्शन कर दिया, वो माइनस साइन बाहर आ जाएगा, and this will technically imply an inversion which actually does not take place. So if you want to represent, or if you want to write the equation of the reflected wave, all you need to do is, you first of all know that it doesn't get inverted, so keep the amplitude as it is, don't put a minus sign in the amplitude, and just change the sign of omega. ओमेगा पहले नेगेटिव, अगर जो भी है ओमेगा का साइन, वो दूसरे रिफ्लेक्टेड इक्वेशन में उसका साइन चेंज कर लो. ओमेगा का साइन चेंज करना is a way of sending the wave in the opposite direction without changing the shape of the wave, without changing the way the graph looks. If at any instant of time you just want to freeze the wave and send it backwards, change omega ka sign. Don't change k ka sign. K ka sign will make the graph upside down. Okay, change omega ka sign. But ye samajh mein aaya more or less reflection from a free end. Okay, in fact, iske aage, if you're wondering, yahan se why an upright pulse is created, if you look at this current position, this is like how we start a pulse. If you remember, when you start a pulse, you hold, let's say you're creating a wave on a rope. So you will lift the rope with your hand to a large height, and then you'll bring the rope down with some force, and then you will end up creating an upright pulse in the rope. As you bring the rope back to the mean position, bring that end back to the mean position, you create an upright pulse. So this is a little similar to that. You raise, iske aage jo hoga, as this guy comes down, it's similar to you having raised your hand up and having brought the end back down. And that creates a pulse of smaller size. You'll find that you'll raise your hand to a large height, and you bring your hand back down, you're creating a pulse, but it's almost of like half the height to which you raise your hand. The pulse that is created, try it with the sheet, try it with the rope. You lift your sheet to a large height and you bring it back down. The pulse that's created is almost half the height. Okay? So this is what is going on, this is what is observed, and we can in a way mathematically prove this maybe in the next class with some maths that we develop. There is no phase change. In दोनों में phase change नहीं है. There is no phase change at this instant. If you freeze time, yeah, reflection के just पहले, reflection के just बाद, there is no phase change. It's the exact same function. There is no difference. There is no phase change. I just said there is no inversion, no phase change. There is a change in direction. Wave आगे जाने के जगह पीछे जाने वाला है इसके आगे. It's getting reflected. So there's a change in direction. जिसके कारण we are changing the minus sign and the plus sign. But if you want to see just before and just after reflection, if you want to compare, is there a phase change? Have a look at this, and you'll be convinced that there is no phase change. It's the same function. It's the same graph. I mean, collision की तरह बोल सकते हो. I mean, collision का equation मत लगाओ इसमें. This is like, this is what happens when the pulse collides with the free end. It gets reflected without a phase change. Let's see what happens. Yeah, just 8 minutes left. Just quickly show you what happens when it gets reflected from a fixed end, and then I can give you a homework question based on this. Okay, so if it gets reflected from a fixed end, okay, इसमें क्या है, the end is so the end is fixed. The end can't move. Okay, the end can't move. The end is probably tied to a fixed point on a wall. So this is reflection from a fixed end. Your rope is tied to a hook, okay? Or it's just tied, fastened to some nail on this wall. So that end of the rope can't move. Then you'll have reflection from a fixed end. Fixed end में उल्टा scene है. भी actually इसमें क्या है ना, just to if I just tell you why इसमें inversion takes place, if I really zoom in. So while this pulse is over here, no, as you know how tension works, this particle is pulling those particles downward. Why? Because tension is going to be along the string. So all particles over here are going to get pulled downward. So as they get pulled downward, they are going to accelerate. Even when the string shape becomes like this, they are still being pulled downward. They are going to continue to accelerate. So they will keep accelerating and they'll continuously be pulled downward till the string reaches this level. Now at this level, what is going to happen is they have been accelerating in the downward direction all this while. So at this instant, when the string is flat, they still have a downward velocity. Because they have a downward velocity, you know, they pull, I mean, they continue to move down. They continue to move down. अब इसके आगे क्या होएगा? Now they'll be pulled up by the fixed point. So as they are pulled up by the fixed point, they'll start to decelerate and they'll finally slow down, and at their extreme position, they'll stop. So this is one of the, if you break down the motion, this is why the pulse actually gets inverted. It's in a way, it's like this particle saying upara, but this point is fixed. He's strong, he's stubborn. So he's saying, nahi, main upar nahi aayega, tu niche. So that's actually what's happening. Okay, so this guy succeeds in pulling those particles down. Okay, so that's why they get inverted. Thoda mathematically also in the next class we'll be able to prove why they get inverted. But for the sake of imagination, okay, for the sake of imagination, it's quite interesting that you can imagine this as the destructive interference wala case. You can imagine this as an imaginary inverted identical pulse moving in the opposite direction. Again, please remember, only this is the real world. All of this is just for our imagination. But the way this is interfering, you can imagine an identical inverted pulse is coming in from that end. And as you guys know, when that pulse comes in, especially if it's of the same amplitude, for a brief moment, you will see that as they are interacting during that reflection, for a brief moment, when they perfectly overlap, they will dictate the string in the middle should be flat. So there will be a brief moment where during reflection from the fixed end, the string appears flat. Beyond that, as you continue with this imagination, as this upward pulse goes on to the imaginary side and the downward pulse comes to the real side, you will now see an inverted pulse move towards the left. Okay, so this is purely for imagination's sake, but that really helps in a way, visualizing what goes on. So we visualize reflection from a fixed end using an inverted pulse coming in from the other side. Okay, and this is exactly what is observed. An upright pulse will go, or wo ulta hoke aayega. So if you have the chance to try this at home, you can just maybe ask someone in the house to hold a string firmly, or you can tie a string somewhere and try this out. Create a pulse and watch how that pulse nicely travels to that end, and after reflection, ulta hoke lauta. Okay, so this actually happens. You can observe it nicely next time. That said, what do we see over here? We will say that this time there is an inversion. There is an inversion and a phase change. Okay, phase changes by pi. There is an inversion. There is a sudden change in phase of pi. Particles at the positive extreme are suddenly sent to the negative extreme. So there's a sudden change in phase by pi without any change in time. Yes, sudden change of phase by pi. So now if I want to write the equation of the reflected wave, okay, if this is my equation of the incoming wave, this is how I'll write the equation of the reflected wave. I am going to use the fact कि उल्टा हो रहा है by putting a minus sign in front of the amplitude. I'm going to use the fact कि phase is changed by putting a minus sign outside. Okay, and then to show कि the direction is now towards the negative end, I will just again change the sign of omega. Be very careful. Even if you write this in this manner, even अगर incoming wave को omega t minus kx लिखा ना, reflected wave को please sign minus omega t minus kx लिखो. Whichever way you're writing it, please only change the sign of omega. Don't change the sign of k. Okay? Because k जैसे ही तुम change करोगे, you're going to change the phase. And who wants to keep track of how phase changes when I change k? Best thing is you've already taken into account the phase change. तुमने already डाल दिया minus a. ये माइनस ए ऑलरेडी हमें समझा रहा है कि ये नीचे जा रहा है. प्लस ए पहले ऊपर था, माइनस ए मतलब अभी इन्वर्ट हो गया. माइनस देन माइनस साइन इज ऑलरेडी टेकिंग केयर ऑफ इट. Don't bring any additional phase change by changing the sign of k. So in all these reflections, always keep k intact. Okay, and we're going to learn reflections in more detail in the next class. Okay, where we're going to see what happens when wave moves from a light rope to a heavy rope to a light rope. And we're going to develop the equations for that as well. So that's going to be a little interesting. And usme heavy rope ke extreme cases वगैरह डाल के we can prove these results as well. But coming back to this is the change you produce. Okay, minus sign, omega का sign change करो. Negative होने दो, positive होने दो, omega का sign change करो. यहाँ पे that's what I've written in red, and this I will stress again in the next class. Just change the sign of omega to reverse the direction. Don't change k. Don't change the sign of k. Replace amplitude with minus amplitude for the fixed end, because fixed end में ये उल्टा होता है. Okay, fixed end में उल्टा होता है. All right. Cool. I mean that's एक मिनट before you leave, just hold on. एक मिनट. Don't leave yet. Sir, if you are changing the sign of omega only, then why are we writing minus a? देखो omega का sign जो change करते हो ना, see, by changing the sign of omega, you're only reversing the direction. As I mentioned before, just freeze time. Just okay, let's just say कि t has hardly changed. Let's say this is the equation before reflection, this is the equation after reflection. So if t has hardly changed, if you look at what is inside the sine function, it's exactly the same. Okay, so omega के कारण कुछ phase change दिखेगा ही नहीं. Phase change, if at all is there, it will be maybe seen over here. Okay, this is how that minus sign is there to tell me कि just before collision, it was an a sine kx function, and just after collision, it became a minus a sine kx function. That minus sign tells me कि उल्टा हो गया, just before and just after the reflection. All right, that omega का sign change करने में you're only changing the direction. You do not change the shape of the function. See, because you do not immediately change the shape of the function by changing the sign of omega, because omega talks about how things vary with time. If I change the sign of omega, it's just going to tell ki, acha, as time progresses, will the particle continue to go up or will it go down? Are we going forward in time? Are we going backward in time? In the sense, will the wave go ahead or will the wave go behind? Those are the things that omega affects. It does not change the shape. So if the shape changes, if it gets inverted, मैं बोल रहा हूँ minus sign डालो. If it doesn't get inverted, minus sign मत डालो. Simple सी बात है. Free end में minus sign नहीं डाला था because invert नहीं हो रहा था. Fixed end में minus sign डाल रहा हूँ because invert हो रहा है. And that said, omega का sign हमेशा change कर लो just to make it go in the backward direction, and you will again see me discuss this. Yes, I'll please explain. I'll explain again. Before that, I'll just mention a few more things, then let the others go. But yeah, you'll see me again explain this entire omega thing in the next class, where we're going to see what happens when a wave gets reflected as it hits another string. Okay, so as it passes from one string to another, the wave gets transmitted and reflected. Uske discussion में वापस ये omega वाला point आएगा. Okay, so I'll repeat this then. Before you guys go, I want you to, of course, I'm going to give you some HCV homework, but also attempt the homework on page 44. It's there on the drive. You'll open it, you'll read it, and you'll solve it. Yes, solution is there on page 45. But just to explain, just to read the question once for you, this is a pulse. ऐसे एक triangular pulse है जो 20 centimeters per second की speed, ये speed है, ये speed से move कर रहा है. Pulse का distance from this end at this instant is 20 centimeters, and the entire distance between the two ends is 30 centimeters. Question asked is, find the minimum time taken by the string to regain its shape. Find the minimum time taken by the string to regain its shape. And then also that'll be the first time the string regains its shape. Also find the time taken by the string to regain its shape for the second time and the third time. Okay. And while that should be enough to understand the question, remember, I'm asking the string to regain its shape. ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि pulse को वापस shape regain करना है. String to regain its shape, I need an upright pulse at the exact same place. Okay, so you need to find the first occurrence of that, the second occurrence of that, the third occurrence of that, and think carefully. It's easy, but it can also be tricky. Think carefully and answer the question. The answers are on page 45. Yeah, the 3 boxed answers are the answers to this question. Okay, so try that. Okay, cool. I'll send you the homework properly. Yeah, now you guys can leave. किसी को क्या कुछ clarity? Who wanted clarity on this? I'll explain again. Are you still here? Just if you can raise your hand. हाँ, voice ला. किस part में clarity चाहिए? Just I'm assuming सिर्फ इस part में clarity चाहिए क्या? ये जो ओमेगा के साथ किया है उसमें क्लैरिटी चाहिए. हाँ, ओमेगा पार्ट देखो क्या है. हाँ, so a sin kx minus omega t, let's say that represents a wave. Okay, when I make it minus a sin kx minus omega t, what I do is I immediately invert the wave. जैसे ही प्लस a का माइनस a कर दिया ना, immediately wave invert हो गया. फिर उसके बाद जब मैं ओमेगा का साइन चेंज करूंगा ना, तो उससे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, because what we are observing in front of us is the snapshot, is the shape of the string. What we are observing is how the y coordinate varies with the x coordinate at a given instant of time. So omega and time are not of concern when we look at the shape of the string. Omega will bring in the aspect of, you're welcome, Devin, omega will bring in the aspect of where the string is going to go after this. Where the string is going to go. Will I get the same y coordinate at a greater x coordinate? But will the wave move to the right? Or will I get the same y coordinate and lesser x coordinate? Means will the wave move towards the left? So omega actually string का shape change नहीं करता है. ये कैसे समझ लो? If you take a snapshot, okay, just take a snapshot. When you take a snapshot, you're going to replace this with a constant. Okay, let's say this is the instant just before it gets reflected. This is the instant just after it gets reflected. Omega को game के बाहर ले लो. Okay, omega positive and negative में फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. Okay, omega positive and negative में फर्क नहीं पड़ता. What matters is You can even call that instant to be t equal to 0 जब वो collision हो रहा है, तो और clarity आएगा. Call that instant to be t equal to 0 जब collision हो रहा है. Equation के बाहर जाएगा. This is what determines the shape. This is what determines the shape. Okay, so that minus sign is there to tell us कि shape change हो गया. ठीक है? Omega shape को affect नहीं करता है, और वो अच्छी बात है, because now I have already incorporated the change in shape. This has incorporated the inversion. Now the only additional thing I want to do is reflected wave को मुझे पीछे भेजना है. So I want to now send the wave behind without changing the shape. Shape change has been incorporated. Inversion has been incorporated. अभी कैसे इसको पीछे कैसे भेजे? तो you should know कि the wave velocity, wave का direction is determined by whether these coefficients are of the same sign or the opposite sign. Right now they are of opposite signs, that's why they were going ahead. If they have to go behind, they should be of the same sign. So naturally you have to change the sign of either k or omega. The question is, which one should you change without changing shape? I hope it is clear that if you change k to minus k, you are going to again change the shape. You're going to change y in terms of x. k को माइनस k करोगे ना, एक और चेंज इन शेप आ जाएगा. समझ में आता है? हाँ, ठीक है. तो and rather than doing that, rather than keeping things complicated, rather than keeping track of k को माइनस k करके क्या चेंज आ रहा है, बेस्ट थिंग इज तुम अगर इन्वर्जन है तो बाहर माइनस साइन डाल दो, और एक बार इन्वर्जन का हो गया सोच के, फिर बस ओमेगा का साइन चेंज कर लो. ओमेगा का साइन चेंज करोगे तो यू विल बी रिवर्सिंग द डायरेक्शन विदाउट प्रोड्यूसिंग एनी मोर चेंजेस. ओमेगा का चेंज जस्ट सिंपली रिवर्सेस द डायरेक्शन. k का चेंज चेंजेस द शेप as well as the direction. So don't do that. Just change the direction of omega. And be especially careful if the incoming wave is like this. अगर incoming wave ऐसा है ना, nonetheless change the direction of omega. Minus sign तो डाल ही दिया, omega का sign change करना है. It's okay if both terms are negative. That's fine. No harm done. Change the sign of omega. और ये next इसमें भी आएगा, और भी है आगे reflection transmission, तो और डिटेल में देखेंगे तो उसमें भी वापस आएगा. Diagram of slide 38. Yeah, those who want to leave can leave. Bye, good night. तो यार 38 का कहाँ तक समझ में आया? Did you get कि firstly I wrote y1 as this. Okay, I'm taking sine kx minus omega t as positive x. So then cos of that same thing becomes positive y, है ना? ऐसा SHM में देखा था, cos becomes positive y. तो 5 cos मतलब 5 along positive y. हाँ, y2 वाला पार्ट. तो फिर y2 is 5 cos, देखो सेम चीज, तो पॉजिटिव y के जैसे ही है, ओनली थिंग यहाँ पे प्लस पाई बाई 3 है. सो इफ यू रिमेंबर इन SHM I said कि व्हेन यू सी अ फेज डिफरेंस ऑफ सम पर्टिकुलर एंगल फ्रॉम a standard direction, then just rotate that particular angle in the anti-clockwise direction. तो यहाँ पे this is like y1, only thing यहाँ पे plus pi by 3 है, तो वो plus pi by 3 को तुम के लिए तुम pi by 3 रोटेट करोगे एंटी क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन में. इफ यू जस्ट हैव अ लुक एट दोस नोट्स अगेन, SHM वाला डिटेल में मेथड स्टेप वाइज बताया कैसे अगर वो पॉजिटिव एंगल है तो एंटी क्लॉकवाइज उस स्टैंडर्ड डायरेक्शन से घूमना है. तो cos y डायरेक्शन से 60 डिग्रीज एंटी क्लॉकवाइज घूम के y2 वाला इक्वेशन बनेगा. ओके, फिर मैंने क्या किया है, तो ये समझ में आ गया कि अभी y2 ऐसा है. Did you get that? कि y2 is उसके आगे then I added these vectors. Okay, so to add them I just took the, क्या लिख रहा हूँ, to add them I just took the bisector, हाँ bisector के long add की. फाइनल रिजल्ट एक बार वो भी सुन ले. फाइनल रिजल्ट ऐसा आया था 5√3 30 डिग्रीज विथ y एक्सिस. तो उसको लिखा 5√3 cos tx minus omega t, that was my y axis, and it was 30 degrees anti-clockwise of the y axis, तो plus pi by 6, plus pi by 6. समझा? ओके चलो बाय. बाय बाय.